Hello everybody, I'm Rhea Karnik and I'm going to be engaging in a discussion with my classmates and we're going to be talking about how their transition was as students of science, arts and commerce into the B.B.A. LL.B program. So Shivatmika, what were the initial challenges you faced when you transitioned into this interdisciplinary program as an art student?
So I think transitioning into an interdisciplinary program for anybody from any background is quite challenging since there's a huge jump from what you do in school to what you do in college or university. I think the most difficult part was learning how to take notes in class, dealing with the number of reference materials one would have to refer to before and after classes. But I think the the thing that helped us the most to navigate through the process was the number of tutorials that the TRFs and professors kept putting together. They made sure that they provided a foundational course for people who didn't necessarily come from the background that was required for certain subjects that we were studying, especially FSAL. I personally did not have a commerce background, and initially I struggled a little bit with the particular course, but the tutorials and the foundational courses that they kept really helped navigating through it easily.
Okay. So Debangshi, since you're from a science background, what made you shift into a law field? And has your experience been coherent with what you expected when you came to the BBLLB program?
Right. So for me, both my parents come from a science background. So for me, it was always like, how could I have not taken science in +2? But it was always clear to all of us that despite taking science as a subject in school, it wasn't necessary that it would amount to an actual career in the same, conventional scientific field. So I need not have become an engineer or a doctor. And I think my expectations were surpassed, at least in this program, because coming into the law field, I always knew that this would require a scientific bent of mind, and the science field always equipped me with the idea of being curious, and I was always curious about a legal system and our judiciary. So that equipped me, and my expectations coming into this course, they actually enabled me to do even better coming into this program.
So Anvesha, you're from the science field, and what skills from your school life from 10th, 11th and 12th really aided your studies in the program?
Coming from a science background, it doesn't have a direct connect to anything related to law or BBA, but learning maths and physics and chemistry, that really helps in subjects such as FSAL and finance. Additionally, when you're solving anything in science or there's an experiment, you need to use your previous knowledge and apply it to the current situation to come up with a result or a hypothesis for what might happen. And the same thing also happens in, for example, our contracts tutorial, where we're given a hypothetical and we need to come up with judgment for the same. Additionally, there's a lot of attention to detail that needs to be paid in both of these subjects. So that also really helped me in law school.
So, Debangshi and Anmol, was the learning method completely different from what you faced in 10th and 12th?
I mean, the learning method was completely different. If you ask me honestly, what I did till my 10+2, I was from arts background, and what we had to write were long answers for our humanities stream question paper like geography, history. Even in law, you have to write long questions like in contract. But the thing is, you have to be precise, you have to be concise. So that changes. You have to write a lot, but at the same time, you have to stay intact with the word limit. You have word limit for every answer. So that is something that I learned. But yes, I wouldn't say that my humanities background didn't help me at all, because we have subject like FOSH, which required some of my arts background that helped me in the first semester. Even in the second semester, we have subjects like legal theory, which uses a lot of concepts and a lot of philosophers like Bentham, Mill. And since I already knew about them, I think that helped me a lot. So yes, the method changes, but at the same time, you piggyback from the things that you learned in your 11th and 12th.
Well, for me, like Anvesha already mentioned, that coming from a science background, we were taught already to, always have a critical outlook, to analyze logically, think coherently, rationally, and that definitely aided in our subjects like contracts, where you need to solve hypotheticals, and we're always asked to question things. Our classroom setup is always like a Socratic setup, so there's always a consistent dialogue and questioning that goes on. But then again, coming to the kind of subjects, science the subjects that I do in this course, B.B.A, LL.B, do not correlate with the subjects I had in science at all. But I would like to specifically mention that that was never a detriment, because the pedagogy that we follow here focuses a lot on unlearning a lot that we did in school. So when you come with a clean slate, like subjects like economics and subjects I haven't been exposed to before, interdisciplinary thinking actually comes into play, because you come from a different kind of background. You do not have any preconceived notions about the subjects. So it's very interesting how you get to form new perspectives about the same subjects. So in that sense, it's always been a very interesting and good experience.
So the shift basically was completely, it was a shift from textual to complete conceptual learning.
Right, definitely.
So it's looking beyond your textbook to like applying what you're learning in the classroom to real life experiences and real life things going on in the society currently. So Anmol, what advice would you give to students considering joining this program from different academic backgrounds?
Well, first of all, I would say that you should have an open mind, because this is my second semester and we have had complete change of subjects. In the first semester, we had different 5 subjects. Now we have different 5 subjects. And even though the semester changes and the subject changes, the subject is still important for your knowledge, because we studied FOSH in the first semester, which was very difficult. But then again, that is helping us right now in legal theory. The ideas from FOSH that we took in the last semester are helping us right now. And even FCEL, like Shivatmika mentioned, it was difficult for us because we both are from humanities background. But the basics we had in the first semester for FCEL are helping us in our corporate finance course. So what I would suggest to everyone is, do not think that you are from a specific background, a specific stream, that you have to pick the specific stream. You can pick a stream such as arts, humanities or science and still can do BBA. Come with an open mind and treat every subject with respect and put in the hard work, and I think you can eventually get it done. I think that is what my advice would be.
That's so, Anmol, that was really on point. So Anvesha and Shivatmika, same question for you guys.
I would answer along the lines that Anmol just replied. So you should come in with a clean slate. It's not that you have a disadvantage because you had a particular subject or a particular course in grade 11th and 12th. What law school essentially does is completely deconstructs the way you're taught to learn. So first of all, you need to figure out how exactly are you expected to learn in a curriculum like this. Whatever foundations you have of whatever subjects will eventually end up helping you in some way or the other, because whatever course it is that you take, whether it's BBA LLB or BA LLB, you will be studying subjects that belong to almost every discipline that you've been studying. So they will somewhere or the other relate to concepts you've learned in the past, be it a science background, a commerce background, or a humanities background. So whatever background it is that you're coming from, it's never going to be a disadvantage. Also, there is a lot of, like she mentioned, there's a lot of peer correlation, and we end up completing each other's answers in classes as well. So you get to hear perspectives from people who've studied completely different courses as compared to what you have, and that really does help in building up your concepts and just becoming better at what you're doing.
I think what Shivatmika and Anmol said is perfectly correct. Just some advice that I would give to other students, prospective students, is that feel free to approach the teachers at any given point for whatever doubts you may be having. Even if you think it's the stupidest thing, just go approach them. They're very open and free. Additionally, just make sure you do all your readings and not go completely blank to classes, so that you have some sort of background as to what is being taught, because it really helps with understanding.
So the open door policy really helps.
Yeah.